Okay, so picking up, we're on question 3C. So, malaria is a serious disease that can be fatal. It's spread to humans by infected mosquitoes because they're carrying the Plasmodium pathogen. So scientists investigated the behavior of mosquitoes to understand how the spread of malaria could be controlled. And figure 2 shows the equipment that they used. So, kind of strange, but we've got a container with some infected mosquitoes inside, and then some socks that have been worn for a day. Then we've got a second container that has some uninfected mosquitoes, and the same thing, some socks that have been worn for a day. So this is the method used. So first, we've got 30 mosquitoes infected with malaria, and they're placed in container A. And I've underlined the 30 mosquitoes, and we'll come back to why. Then we've also got 30 uninfected mosquitoes placed in container B. So the same number, that's going to be important in a second. Third thing, the total number of times the mosquitoes landed on the socks was recorded. Okay, so we have to name the dependent variable and suggest one control variable. Now, remember, a dependent variable is something that is measured in a practical, and a control variable is something that is kept the same in a practical. Now, in this practical, we're told in step 3, they're recording, they're measuring the total number of times the mosquitoes landed on the socks. So that's what we've got for the dependent variable, number of times mosquitoes landed on the socks. Now for our control variable, there's various things we could pick, but one that's quite obvious from the method, they've used the same number of mosquitoes in each container. Okay, so that's why I picked that as my first possible option. The number of mosquitoes in each container is kept the same. Other options, they've had the same type of socks in each container, the temperature in each container is kept the same, and the size of each container is the same. These are all possible options, but the most obvious one from the method is that they've got the same number of mosquitoes, 30 mosquitoes in each container. So we are then told that the infected mosquitoes landed on the socks 3 times more often than uninfected mosquitoes. So infected mosquitoes seem to like these worn socks. And we're asked how this information can be used to reduce the spread of malaria. So to stop the spread of malaria, we need to stop mosquitoes from spreading and biting, so people or animals, and spreading the Plasmodium pathogen. So we know that infected mosquitoes are going to land on the socks a lot. They're going to land on them a lot more often than the uninfected mosquitoes. So if we can use that idea, we're going to be able to try and attract those mosquitoes and then kill them so they can't spread Plasmodium. So the 2 key ideas to get the 2 marks are you're going to use worn socks, or potentially the chemicals that are in the worn socks. That's your first mark, and we're going to use them to attract the infected mosquitoes. And that's all you need to say to get the 2 marks. If you then went on and talked about killing the mosquitoes, that was absolutely fine as well. But the key idea is to use the worn socks because the infected mosquitoes land on them a lot more often than uninfected mosquitoes do, to attract, to get the infected mosquitoes to collect near the worn socks. Okay, over the page, and we've got our last question. So, tobacco mosaic virus affects many species of plant, and figure 3 shows a leaf infected with TMV. Now, we can't really see because it's black and white, but we're told there are yellow patches where TMV has destroyed chloroplasts. And that's the key thing for this question. And it's going to tell us again underneath that TMV destroys chloroplasts in the leaf. And I've made myself a little note, because remember, chloroplasts, their function, they're the site of photosynthesis. So destroying chloroplasts is going to be bad for the plant. So we have to explain how this could affect the growth of the plant. Now it's a 3-mark question, but I've put down 5 possible points. So, 1, if the chloroplasts get destroyed,